Hello Cancer, how are y'all doing? I'm going to do a March reading for you guys, a pretty basic one, quicker than the last one, which took a lot out of me. Just pretty much what you need to know for March. And I will be going over the Astro weather, and I will put a timestamp somewhere in the description or comments for those of you who want to skip it, especially if you're watching more than one of this set. Mercury goes into Pisces on the 2nd. That's today, the day I'm recording it anyway. And Saturn goes into Pisces on the 7th, same day as a full moon in Virgo. Woo! Then we have Venus going into Taurus on the 16th, which I'm looking forward to. I love that earthy, deep, slow love. Taurus is ruled by Venus, so I think it will benefit us there. And then we have Mercury going into Aries on the 19th. Then we have Sun going into Aries on the 20th. New moon going into Aries on the 21st. That is a lot of fire, which we all need, because this airy aqua, this dreamy Pisces has kind of kept us in an altered state during at least us in the northern hemisphere with this like winter, right? So we need to get ready for spring. Ooh, you got the most beautiful Hierophant for your present, Cancer. I love that. It's beautiful. 3 of water, bottom of the deck. That is celebration. That is joy. I love this. You know, the Hierophant is usually a masculine, and it's kind of like church, religious institutions. This is almost like when the divine feminine, it's almost like a high priestess card. It's like when you understand how to become your own church. You are the temple of the Holy Spirit. You are reborn, renewed. You're completely in tune with spirit, and you are your own divine presence, completely in touch with the higher powers, which is where we all want to be. Whenever we lose sight of that, everything else gets out of balance. Now, in the recent past, you have the 4 of Waters. I don't read these reversed, but it was reversed. 4 of Waters is sometimes not being very satisfied with your options. It can be a little bit of pessimism. It can be a little bit kind of wishing for more. And then in the near future, we have the 2 of Fire, which is like 2 wands, which is planning, having goals, dreams, hopes, and going on a brand new adventure. I am seeing that quite a bit for people in March, which makes a lot of sense, because with us entering Aries energy, man, do we want adventure, don't we? We want adventure. We do. Let's see. Oh, did I mention that Mars is going into your sign on the 25th, and that Pluto's going into Aquarius on the 23rd. Pluto going into Aquarius is going to bring about revolution, but it's not going to hardly start this year. Or I think we're going to get a taste of it. But it's going to be a very long transit. I do think there will be a lot of agorism, a lot of standing up against the powers that be. Now, with Mars going into Cancer, I'm not so sure. I feel like that's going to be as positive as we like, because Cancer is so emotional, watery, and Mars is so fiery in action. You might want to watch what astrologers say about it, especially since it's going into your sign. Now, Mars can sometimes help you guys personally with this Aries energy to get going and light up that fire and go on that adventure. Just got to watch out not to get kind of grumpy or impatient, I feel like. Now, we do have the Hawk reversed and the Blackbird reversed. So, I feel like with that, even if you're, okay, here's the thing. Even if you are in your power and you're one with spirit and you are completely in a divine state where you can see everything really well, if you're looking at everything really well with the Hawk reversed, you can be cruel, you can be critical, you can come off as condescending and even narcissistic. So you have to be cautious about that. Even if you know everything that's going on, even if you have all the pieces put together, acting like a know-it-all never looks good to other people. It just doesn't. It's almost like a turn-off. Even if you're right, no one's going to care if it comes out wrong. So you just need to guard against that. I feel like, and trust me, I can be guilty of this too. When I put all the pieces together in something and you really know what's going on, sometimes you kind of want to stand up for what you believe in, and you kind of want to call it out, or you kind of want to shine a light on it, or you might want to approach the situation with what you know, with your input. But it may just come off as harsh. So don't forget to look at the emotional aspects. If anyone can do it, you can. Get in touch with the emotional aspects of it. Use your empathy very wisely. Tap into how other people feel from their perspective. Even if you know you have a higher perspective and you see things they can't, you need to try to tap into their perspective, how they feel. I mean, like, it's a cheesy example, but I have a young rooster who hurt a hen, and it really angered me, and I had to remove him because I know that he would keep hurting her. I could absolutely hate that rooster, yet I understand that he doesn't know what he's doing. He really doesn't understand what he's doing. He's not aware. When you see animals that do some things, or see people that act like animals that do some things, we have to be aware that sometimes they really just don't understand. They know not what they do. Let's put it that way. And it's really true. A lot of times they do. We are like, yeah, you do. You know what you're doing, right? We really know they know what they're doing. But so many people are blinded by desire, blinded by their rights, their goals, that they honestly don't know what they're doing. And from some angles, yes, you're right, they do, but sometimes they don't. So just make sure you stay generous in your spirit. Does not mean letting people get away with stuff or hurting you. Just don't approach it harshly. Now with a blackbird reverse, I definitely feel like, again, the call of your soul might actually, it can be affecting the world around you, because a blackbird is like almost like when it's reversed, you might be standing in the gateway between the spirit world and the physical world and not really acting on either. So even if you think you're going to keep all this to yourself because you don't want to hurt people, they're going to feel it, guys. All of us are way more empathic, intuitive, and psychic than we give ourselves credit for. The veil has been lifted. We all can feel it. It's just we've been groomed and conditioned to not trust our intuition. So even if you think that you're keeping it from them, they can feel it. So don't just stand in that gateway. Make a decision. You're so powerful spiritually right now, but I do feel like you are going to make that decision. You are not only going to be planning, but you're actually going to get up and move on and have that journey, have that experience. I do think this fire energy is going to help you do that. Now I want to clarify to see what we can get. I feel like you're going through an emotionally intense time, and that is why you're having to kind of weigh out how you feel versus what you want to say, what you want to, how you want to act. I think something has kind of sort of shocked you, so you're kind of like, like you're at a pause, but that pausing time is about up, time for you to move on, right? So we have the Knave of Wands, which it paid. What was it I told Scorpio or someone? Like a glitch in the matrix, sorry. Knave of Wands, Page of Wands, right? Fiery message. Either you will give a fiery message or you're going to be receiving one very soon. Now, the Four of Waters is clarified by the Nine of Swords and the Six of Swords. I'm definitely seeing some cutting communication in the recent past. That might be the options you didn't like. Like, you knew no matter what message you gave or what message they gave, it wasn't going to be what you wanted to hear or what they wanted to hear. Because, I mean, Six of Swords is kind of like moving away with regret. Nine of Swords can be a little bit of anxiety, depression, or a lot. And I do feel like no matter what, you know that it's not going to work out the way you want. In the present moment, with a Hierophant energy, we have the Nine of Swords, more air energy, guys, and Strength reversed. You or the other person or people that you're dealing with are defensive and a little bit weak at the moment. Or maybe you're protecting someone's weaknesses, or you're very, very defensive and you kind of know that they're weak, and it's just the whole thing is kind of off. So if you try to go on the defensive to break down their weaknesses, to break down their guard, it can backfire and it'll make you look weak, and vice versa. In the near future, we do have the Two of Cups and the Hermit. So, I mean, they sound sort of like opposite energies unless you two both decide to go together on a journey privately and quietly. I think kind of like a private honeymoon type of thing, going on an adventure, and you have a lot of time to reflect, but with a partner, with someone that you love. I definitely think that's beautiful. Some of you may actually be going on an adventure, but still kind of retaining that hermit mode so that you can shine a light on the kind of love relationship you want for your future. You know, you have this opportunity for this new Two of Cups, for this new love relationship, but you may actually be wanting to observe it deeply, kind of get to know it, feel it out. as you go on your adventure so you don't just act without thinking. You have bomb about to go off. I swear Gemini got that one. And then I'm using you for money and connections and slander, gossip, and ruining your reputation. So I do think that some of you guys need to be careful because whatever this defensive energy is, either you might be accusing them of using you for just money, or they might be doing that to you. And this is not the kind of energy you want in your life, especially if you want to go on a new adventure. And then the slander and gossip situation, either someone has been talking about you, or maybe you feel like you've been doing that to them or about them. Maybe you know, even if you tell people how you feel, is going to look that way. So this whole situation is just not going to play out beautifully. Sometimes whenever you have to deal with, say, narcissistic people or negative people or controlling people, sometimes it's just best to let it go and not try to communicate it out. It's like I did say that they will feel it anyway, but okay, let's put it this way. If you're dealing with a flat out narcissistic person, there's really nothing you can do about them anyway. So don't stand in that gateway being afraid to move forward because you're busy trying to figure out how to communicate with someone who will never listen to you anyway. They're not ever going to listen anyway. They only listen to themselves. So if that's the situation, it's okay to not try to figure it out, to quit ruminating over it and just move on. We have the good lady, and we also have marriage. I do think some of you have beautiful marriage coming. I also think some of you, whoever is in your life that is the feminine, the good lady, is probably the one who is more on the right in the situation. And the marriage, I do feel like for some of you, there's some kind of a fight over marriage. There's some kind of a fight over the rights of a wife in marriage, okay? And if some of you feel like this, if you're being unfairly treated when you stand up for yourself, it's okay. Those people who aren't listening to you, they don't deserve you anyway. And then if you have someone who's trying to reach out to you and tell you that they're having trouble and issues, don't be afraid to listen to them because maybe they need help and need support, okay? But for a lot of you, I do think that you are either going to end up with a good, like a good older woman, or vice versa. I think it was Aries who is going to end up with an older feminine, or is the older feminine. So that reading might be beneficial for a few of you. Now, the marriage with the Two of Cups, as well as the Adventure card and the Hermit, I do think some of you are actually considering proposing, or you're kind of preparing for that. I've been seeing this a lot. It's weird how people almost end up with new love in the spring, isn't it? Just like nature. So, a journey too. I'm telling you guys are going on a journey, very possibly getting married, or weighing it out, the pros and the cons and the benefits. So you're leaving a kind of stressful, defensive situation and moving into a love situation. I'm not kidding. This is my fourth and last reading I'm doing for tonight, and this theme is kind of resounding. It's weird when that happens, isn't it? Anyway, I love you guys, and I bless you. And if you made it this far, please like, please comment, please sub. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you more than you know. Until next time.